Hey guys, it's Jade. So I hope you guys can hear me okay because I'm in my grandmother's room with the AC on because it is pretty damn hot today. So I'm just going to chill in here. This is something that I've been wanting to do for a while, but I just never did. Like I did it before, but I just decided now I'm gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. But then I decided, okay, I'm gonna just do it again. So reason for this video is because I just wanted to talk about something that that I haven't I've talked about this on Google Plus, but I've never talked about this on YouTube or anything like that. And I figured I'd do this because I figured someone could probably understand my my story on this and stuff like that. So basically, what I'm talking about is that I'm coming out to talk about my, I guess, my dealings with depression. So, um, I feel like, honestly, I feel like I've been like depressed. I think it started back when I was in high school when I had lost my dad. So, um, it wasn't really like after, like I said, I was in junior year. So it was like I said, I lost my father when I was 16. Um, Basically because my father was an alcoholic, and just years and years and years of drinking just caught up to him, and he passed from liver failure. And just having to basically see my dad die in front of me really shook me. And I just remember I used to have like nightmares for like months after he passed. And because I was just so just I didn't know really how to grieve. So I just you know, I turned to like eating. So, I didn't turn to drugs or anything like that, but I turned to food. So that's how what kind of led me to me having me gain all this weight that size I am now. Because growing up, I was like the chubby kid. Like I used to eat what I wanted. My parents weren't, they didn't have a problem with it, but I was more so just like the petite or whatever. But then when he passed, I just know how to, cope with depression of losing my father. I ate, and then that's how I gained weight. And then, being in high school, people can be real cruel and real mean. And I just remember in high school, I was always the quiet kid. Like I never caused any problems. I never got into any fights or anything like that. I just try to stay solo dolo. Like I had my friends, and that's where I liked it. Like I didn't want to get caught up in no drama because there was a lot of drama in my high school, and stuff like that. So I remember when I gained the weight, I gained weight pretty fast, and people would always come up to me and be like, "Oh Jay, oh, you used to be so skinny." I was never skinny, by the way, but they always say, "Oh Jay, you were so skinny. Um, what happened?" People thought that I was pregnant, stuff like that. And so that kind of really, bothered me in high school, and to the point where, like, honestly, like my 10-year anniversary is this year. I don't even want to go because honestly, I didn't care about a large number of people I went to high school with. They didn't care about me. Only people I really care about is my friends that, even though I haven't spoken to them really because, we all live in different places, but they're still my friends. But those are the only people I really, really give two shits about. Everyone else, I really don't care. I mean, that might sound mean, and that's like me. It might sound weird, holding like a grudge over shit from high school. But I mean, that's just how I feel. Like I really don't care. Um, so that was that's kind of like my first dealings with depression, and I was in denial for a long time. I just thought that in my head I was just saying, "Oh no, it was just because we had a lot of food, from like the repast and stuff like that." So I just, it was just from that, but no, it was really because I was depressed. but I was in denial for that for a very long time. But then after that, I just went on with my life. After that, went to college and had odd jobs here and there. But after that, I didn't really have any dealings with depressions until I'd say about 2015 when my mom got sick. So I've only told this to a few. I think I've only ever told this to Shower 360 and Alex. Those are the only ones that I've really told about my mom. I don't think I've ever talked about this in a video, or maybe I have. I'm not sure. But my mom had gotten sick 2015, and she had been diagnosed with breast cancer, and she had to get a lumpectomy. So that was that. And then the fact that breast cancer does run in my family because my grandmother is a 2-time breast cancer survivor, and then my mom has it, and now I'm thinking oh my God, am I gonna get it, because it does run in my family. So that worried me. But then honestly, that was a really stressful point in my life because I was working, and I was working a lot. I used to get a lot of hours and stuff like that. And then I was worried about my mom and, things like that. I'm thinking I didn't think she was going to pass or anything like that, but just the thought came in my mind oh my God, is she, am I going to lose her? So that really, kind of stressed me and my brother out. You know what I'm saying? And I just remember the day she had to go to surgery, and my grandmother was there, and that was the most stressful day ever. I'm sitting in the waiting room. I could barely sleep. It was just so stressful. I don't think I've ever been so stressed about anything in my whole life at that point. But as you know, my mom, she's doing well and stuff like that. But still, just at that point, it was just a lot. And then I think after her surgery was when I experienced my first panic attack. It literally came out of nowhere. I just remember that I was at work one day. I'm doing I was just cool. It was a regular day, had a regular shift. I'm at work and I'm at my register, but then I noticed something wasn't right. Sometimes you can tell that something is off. So I knew something wasn't okay, and I can just feel I felt kind of dizzy, and I could feel my heart racing, and I got scared. And I remember I went to my manager and I was like, yo, Amanda, am I crazy or is my heart beating? And she was like, it's not racing, but it's a little fast. And then she was asking me questions, and she was like, yeah, I think you're having a panic attack. And so I remember going home and having to, I just remember going home, trying to lay down, but then it wasn't working. So I remember going to the doctor, and they told me that yes, I was having a panic attack, and so that was scary. I literally thought I was gonna die because I'd never experienced anything like that before. So it really freaked me out. And then, I'm talking to the doctor, and the doctor's asking me these questions, and she was saying she's like, I think because of what happened with your mom that you're experiencing, you might want to see a therapist. And I've never seen a therapist before, so I was kind of on the fence about it, because honestly, being in the black, community, no one in the black community really goes to seek help for depression or anxiety or anything like that, because it's just, I don't know why, it's just so taboo. It's just the same thing in Korean cultures, the same thing in the black community. Most black people, when it comes to stuff like that, they don't seek help like that, or they just kind of look oh, you're just having a moment, excuse me, or something like that. It's not really taken serious as it should. So I had to get some water. You know what I'm saying? So I took it upon myself to go see someone, and I saw them for a little bit. And then after that, It was kind of back to normal, but then, I found out that I had to move, and I was like, great. And we were trying to find places to live, and that was really difficult, trying to find a place. Because, I live in New Jersey, and depends on where you're trying to move to. It was just hard trying to find a spot, and we weren't really able to find a spot. So fast forward to 2016. Nothing like, I wouldn't say I wasn't suffering from depression then, but I was kind of stressed out about having to move and then stuff like that. So that's why, like, last year when I made my video, I was saying I wasn't going to buy a lot of albums that year, was because I had to move, because I didn't know where I didn't really know I was going to have a place to stay. So we fast forward to July of last year, around this time last year, and they basically, my mom she was trying to go through like a short sale type of thing, to where I honestly don't really know what the hell that was for or whatever, but basically, people ended up buying a house, because my house was on the foreclosure for like God knows how long. And then I just remember, basically them telling us we only had a few days. And so basically, the 15th of July, I basically had to move like 20 years of my life into storage containers and stuff like that. So that was a pretty stressful day. And having to move in my grandmother's house, and I'm being separated from my brother, and then I'm not going to see my niece as often, because I don't live that close anymore, and I'm further from my job, I'm further from my friends and stuff like that. Like, yeah, I have my family, but still, I was just completely ripped out of my comfort zone. So it was definitely tough adjusting to moving, and it still is, even though it's been a year. It's still tough getting adjusted to moving, just getting used to the area and things like that. And then come, like, I say around like October, I quit my job because it just got too much trying to travel to work. I went from only spending about $6 a day to get to and from work, and only being 20 minutes by bus or train, to being now I'm like an hour and a half away from my job, and I'm spending like $10 a day. And I had to, like, only work certain hours, and stuff like that. So it just really got too much, so I had to quit. So since October, I've been out of work. And then I feel like this year has, I feel like this year has really brought on my depression, because the fact that I've been out of work, and just, living here hasn't been really ideal, to be honest with you. And just the environment is not ideal either. It's like I said, I'm completely out of my comfort zone, and it's really, really hard, even after a year, to still try to be adjusted to living here. And I'm just going to be completely honest with you. So it's been tough. And I think I felt like a couple months ago, I noticed a change in my personality. Like, I've always been a person that's always been irritated easily. I've never really gotten angry a lot, but I've always been very irritated. So, like, if something happens and it doesn't really go the way I would hope, it just irritated me. But then I was even more irritated with a lot of things, and then there's a lot of things I just was kind of like not liking. Like, things would just kind of irritate me a lot. And I definitely noticed a change in my personality. And then I was always so sad and just unhappy. And I would kind of put up a front for people, because I at first I didn't want to talk about it. But then, one day I just woke up and I was just sad. And I just remember um, my uncle asked me like one simple question. I was just hysterically in tears for like, I don't even know how long. And, it scared me. It really did. And then that's when I remember I called my mom and I was like, I need to see someone because it was really scary. And that's when I started to see um, the therapist that I'm seeing now and things like that. And I'm just trying to get in a better place, not only financially but just mentally, because I feel like I'm not in a good place sometimes. Because sometimes I have my good days, sometimes I have my bad days, and things like that. And you know, that's why I was so looking forward to the BTS concert, and then KCON, and now the Monster X concert, because I knew, even though it was going to be temporarily, I knew those moments were going to bring me some kind of happiness. Even if it was just for a couple hours or just for a day, I just knew that I was going to be happy, just happy, period. Even though I hadn't been feeling all that happy in a long time. So, um, like I said, it's just been rough for me. Like I said, I've had my good days, I have my bad days. Um, right now, I'm doing okay. Um, God willing, I'm doing okay. But I'd say earlier in the month I wasn't doing okay. Um, because um, so I say on the 4th, I had my first suicidal thought. Um, this part is actually hard for me to say, but I'm just gonna come out and say it. Um, it it was it just it came out of nowhere. Again, I just thought about all the shit that I was going through. Like I said, not being out of being out of work, and stuff like that. It just really bothered me. And then I just thought about like, what would it be like if I just went to sleep and just didn't wake up. You know, um, and it was hard to tell my mother. Honestly, this is the first time I've ever talked about this besides telling my mother. And yeah, this is really hard to talk about, but it happened. And then I just thought about like, if I didn't think about the actual, like, the action of doing it, just the idea of it, you know what I'm saying? And that scared me. It really did. It still scares me, the fact that I even had that thought. I just been through some shit the past few years, but never then, I thought about what it'd be like if I wasn't here anymore. But then I thought about my mom, and I thought about my friends, and people who really care about me and things like that. And I'm starting to cry. But I mean, this is this is real life. You know, it is. But it happened. And I figured me telling this story, someone can relate. But I mean, yeah, this is real life. And that's the only time I ever had it. And like I said, it was hard for me to tell my mom. I couldn't even look at her. That's how difficult it was for me to tell her. And you know, yeah, so honestly, just thinking about everything that's been going on, leading up to me going to New York, was just like, It was just really, it was just pretty like up and down. But then honestly, just those 2 days I spent in New York, it like, you know what I'm saying, it really brought my spirits up. Or like, like I said, that's why I was talking about, like, I've always just been looking forward to going to see BCS and going to KCON and going to the Monster X, because like I said before, it brought me some kind of happiness, and then, especially, over the weekend when I went to go to the Monster X concert, it just really, it really brought my spirits up, because, I got to meet people who I've been, friends with on YouTube for God knows how long, and then just being around them and getting to know them getting to know me, and we're just experiencing this whole thing together. It just really makes me realize how fortunate I have for people to, that I've made friends with, so that's why uh, I'm just grateful that I've even started my channel, because the fact that, I was able to meet people through the internet and through something that I love, and, stuff like that. Um, but yeah, I wanted to come out here and just tell my story, and I'm hoping that someone out there can relate. I'm not asking people to feel sorry for me. I'm not asking people to feel bad or anything like that. I felt like I can share something like this because, like I said, I know there's someone out there can relate to this somehow, some way. So you know that you're not alone. That there's someone that's going through something similar as you. Not maybe the exact same thing, but something similar as you. And you know, like I said, I'm just taking this shit day by day. I am. I'm just taking this thing day by day, and I'm hoping, now that I had my interview, that, that even if I'm not, if I don't get this job, at least I know I at least had an interview and things like that. And I'm hoping that, I'll get more calls for interviews and stuff like that. Um, and I'm hoping that my living situation will be better, or even if that, or if I, decide to move again. I don't know what the future holds for me, but like I said, I'm just taking this day by day, and yeah. So I hope this didn't really bring everyone down, but like I said, this is something that I've been wanting to do for a while, and I'm just now having the courage to do so. So, just so you know, anyone that's listening to this, just know that you're not alone. Not just myself, but there's many, many other people that are going through some hard times. And, like they say, it does get better. I can't tell you when, I can't tell you how, because I can't predict the future, but it does get better. Like I said, you just gotta take it a day at a time. There's nothing wrong with going to talk to someone. It doesn't even have to be a therapist. It could be anyone, a friend, a family member, someone you work with, someone you trust. You know what I mean? So it doesn't necessarily have to be someone that's a psychiatrist or anything like that. It doesn't have to, don't if you aren't comfortable with doing that, you don't take that route. Um, and if it's to a point where you don't have to take medication for it, because I'm not taking medication for my depression, thank the Lord, and I'm trying to avoid from doing that. But if it's to a point where you don't have to take medication for it, then that's the way you want to go, because you don't want to have to take medication and then be dependent on that type of medication if it hasn't gone to that point. But just know that it's not nothing wrong with seeking help, You know, there's nothing to be ashamed of. There's nothing to, you're not crazy, or, there's nothing wrong with you, like, to wanting to get help. You know what I'm saying? So I just want people to know that it is okay, so yeah. Excuse me. Um, I'm going to get out of here. And like I said, I hope someone that's listening to this gets something from this. And yeah, I'm going to get out of here, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.